episode of EETV, where we start to break everything in entertainment. So right here, an update for X-Men 97. We had to do this one because I'm a big fan of X-Men, my favorite Marvel property. Taken from Screen Rant by author Greg Hermans 3 hours ago. X-Men 97 showrunner shares his most important Marvel writers' room rule, and it's a good one. So let's read some of this right here. With many already wondering whether it can be a worthy follow-up to X-Men 97 showrunner Bo Demayo'S shares his most important Marvel writers' room rule. The upcoming Disney Plus series will act as a revival of the X-Men the Animated Series from the 90s, which ended with Professor X heading off to the alien world of Shi'ar with the mysterious Lilandra, in the hopes of being cured of the illness brought upon him by the anti-mutant government employee Henry Peter Gyrick. Having scored largely positive reviews during its run, X-Men the Animated Series was considered as helping revive the comic book genre for multiple demographics. Now, also what I have to say about this, the last episode of X-Men the Animated Series that shows the history of Nathan Essex, Mr. Sinister, that was a great episode, and I watched a documentary on that episode and what went into that. And if the new show is going to be anything like that, with the amount of time and effort they put into it, I think the show is going to be great. And I think we should get we should definitely get an update to that Mr. Sinister story. They should continue that. I would like to see that. I think he wasn't shown enough on the original series, if you ask me. Now, if we read the rest of his article, development on the revival of the series was announced in late 2021 with the title of X-Men 97 with Bo Demayo, who previously worked with Marvel on Disney's Plus, Moon Knight, and on the Witcher franchise, leading as the project's head writer. Plot details have been kept largely under wraps for the show, save for the confirmation it will continue the story of the original X-Men the Animated Series, and will see the most of the original cast reprising their roles, which is good, including Wolverine actor Cal Dodd, Lenore Zan, and more. Word has gone largely quiet on X-Men 97 in the year since its announcement, though now audiences are getting a promised update on the development. Now, we're going to skip ahead too, because what he said of this, now listen to this. In recent question and answer session held on his Instagram, Bo Demayo opened up about the development of Disney Plus X-Men 97. When asked how he put his team together, the showrunner shared his most important Marvel writers' room rule, believing all involved needed to be a fan of the original work on the new series. See what Mayo explained before. Now, this is what we have right here. In fall of 2020, Marvel head of streaming asked me to develop a take to revive this show. From there, I pitched it out, was hired. My LP was the first hire, and he brought along the amazing talent that followed. My general rule was you had to be a fan, no questions. I've been on shows, namely The Witcher, where some of the writers were not or actively disliked the books and games, even actively mock the source material. It's a recipe for disaster and bad moral. Fandom, as it litmus test, checks egos and makes all the long nights worth it. You have to respect the work before you're allowed to add in its legacy. Now listen to that there. You have to respect the work before you're allowed to add to its legacy. Now, if this was done with other Marvel properties, I would say a lot of things would be a lot better. I personally think I like this, because if you're not a fan of the show, what the heck are you doing here? Because It's an arduous process to get everything done, and you're not going to do it well if you don't even like it, or you disrespect the source material, or you're trying to add a narrative on there to quote unquote make it better because it wasn't right before. No. So I like this. Now, the article goes on to why 97 could prove a worthy follow-up. Now, look, if they take those storylines and they continue the rest of the storylines from the original series, this is going to be great, along with adding more things to the mythos and taking some of the arcs from the comics that have been released since the original run of X-Men. I think we have something here. This could be a winner. This could get X-Men back on the map. Now think of this. If this is good, if this shows out to be good here, not only can this revive X-Men, we can probably finally get a decent X-Men comic book. And then not only that, maybe we can finally get a movie that was better than what we got originally. Now, you know, the X-Men movies have been hit or miss. You know, either you're right there or you're not there. It's close but no cigar. But we need better than that. We need X-Men, especially when it comes to live action films. We need X-Men to be as good as Avengers was when it comes to Marvel property. That's what we need. And you're only going to get that is if you go right back up here when we scroll up, where it says, where he says right here, you have to respect the work before you're allowed to add to its legacy. That's the only way that they're going to get this thing done. And we'll read a little bit this last paragraph here. While Marvel may have helped produce the original series, it will be interesting to see how their primary handling of X-Men 97 changes the formula of the revival in the near future, with its predecessor having been primarily produced by Saban Entertainment and Fox Kids Network. Any characters were prohibited from appearing due to rights issues through the Marvel have been reacquired. Nearly every character's rights they once sold off. The doors open for a variety of new characters to join familiar faces. In the meantime, audience can catch up with the original series streaming on Disney Plus now, which is great, because that's the reason why we didn't get a lot of appearances of different X-Men through the original animated series, is because some of the characters' rights were sold off at the time. Now that they have all the characters, we can get down to business now. And not only that, now I'm going to speculate this. I'm just speculate since they didn't come out with anything yet. I'm just going to speculate this. Now, that's a shot of the original team minus, Storm and Gambit. Now I'm going to speculate this. What if we get a revival of the X-Men Blue Team and Gold Team from the comics in this show, and they can do something where Blue Team goes off on a mission, Gold Team goes off on a mission, and the stuff hits the fan and all hell is breaking loose, and then you can just add in more characters. We can see more of X Factor, we can see more of X-Force, we can see more of Alpha Flight, we can see more of everything now. This opens up, if this is done right, man, this is going to be like how it was back in the old day when you had all the surprise. And not only that, since it's streaming now and they have all the characters, they can leave off with more cliffhangers, and they can make the series not too much dark, but just a tad little bit darker. And one thing that I want them to follow up with, I want more of Nightcrawler. That's my favorite X-Men. I want more of Kurt Wagner. But not only that, I want a final conclusion of how Morph is turning out, because that was a big staple, and then they dropped it off, and they had him riding off in the sunset, talking about he had to get himself right because his mind was all whacked all over the place. I would like to see a continuation and finish up on Morph's story as well. as long as some more banter between Wolverine and Cyclops, which is also good. So tell me what you think of this, how it may go. Like, share, and subscribe if you feel like it. I will definitely see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.